Are you looking for what exactly to put in a pumping cart or in a pumping work bag? If you are, this is the video for you. In this video, I'm going to show you all about what's in my exclusively pumping cart, as well as what's in my Willow Pump Bag. If you're new here, hello and welcome. My name is Jenny. I am a teacher, mom, doctoral student, and also a future mom of 2 girls. Sometime in July, I'm expecting my 2nd girl. And in this video, I wanted to show you exactly what I'm putting in my pump cart for exclusively pumping downstairs while I have a newborn and also a 15-month-old toddler. After I show you my pumping cart, I'm actually going to show you what's in my work bag as well. I have the Willow Pump, so if you're looking for some solutions on what you could put in a Willow Pump as well as the type of bag, that'll be towards the end of the video. I'm going to be doing a tour of my work bag as well for my pumping. All right, let's dive right into it and go ahead and look at the top row here. So the pump that I have is the Medela Symphony. I adore this pump. This is a pump that you can rent through the hospital usually, and it is not usually a pump that you would own because this is a pump designed for multiple people. So I have my Medela Symphony pump here. I'm gonna turn the card around so you can see it. Here's my beautiful Medela Symphony here. I'm very excited to be able to use it once again. I used it with my first pregnancy, or my first child, and it was incredible. This was the best pump, the pump I responded the best to, so I wanted to make sure that I actually had it in my cart this time as well. So I have my Medela Symphony here. I also have my Legendary Milk Sunflower Lecithin. I've talked about Sunflower Lecithin in some other videos that I've done, but I take these every day. It makes your milk less sticky, which makes it easier for it to be expressed, which causes less clogs. I had a lot of issues with clogs with my first baby, and I knew that that was something I wanted to try to get ahead of this time. So I made a point to go ahead and preemptively order Sunflower Lecithin. If you wind up being prone to clogs, you definitely are gonna want Sunflower Lecithin. The next thing in the top of my cart here, I'm sure you see this basket here. We'll get to the basket in just a second. My Lavi Duct Flow. This is again stuff that you're not meant to take every day. This is for clogs. So I have it up here at the top. I don't plan on taking it every day, but I do have it up here in the event that I wind up with a clog that I could take this as well. Then this is the Lavi Duct Flow Lactation Support. These are not required, and I've honestly never tried them before, so I'm interested to see how they work. But I did want to show you this is in my cart because I will be taking this. So I try to include pills and things like that I'm going to take on the regular on the top of the cart. The other thing I have here, like I said, is this big basket. In my basket here, I have all of my different pumping supplies. I have my Freemie cups that I use very often with this pump. So these are the Medela compatible Freemie cups, and they also have the inserts in them as well for the Freemie cups to make the flange size a little bit smaller. I have different sizes of bottles and tubes, so when you are pumping early on, you're not gonna fill this. So you're gonna wanna have something a little smaller, which is why I have my little guys here that I'm gonna be using, that I'll be using early on. I also have my pumping parts. So I get the flanges that are a little smaller. These are the official Medela flanges. And I don't know what it is about these particular ones, but I found these fairly comfortable having that silicone around the outside. So I keep these in the top. If I decide I'm really tired and just want to pump directly into bags, I have the adapter for the kind bags and the pump parts ready to go. So I have 2 of these ready to go at the top of my cart here. Sometimes you just need to be able to drop what you're doing after you're pumping and get straight back into whatever you were doing. Basically everything that's up here are pumping parts. There are 3 other things on the top of my cart that I wanted to show you. I have hand sanitizer. Of course, you need to keep your hands clean when you are dealing with breast milk. It's what your child is eating. So I have some foaming hand sanitizer here that I keep in the top of my cart. I also keep all of the lids in a little bin like this right here. I keep all the lids from my different Medela bottles in here, and I also have the 2 kind bag lids in here as well. I just wanted a place to keep all of my lids so that they didn't get lost. So that's just right here on the top of the pumping cart too. The last thing on the top of my pumping cart is actually these Medela Quick Clean Pump Wipe. I love these things. If I didn't have these things when I was pumping overnight, I probably would have quit a lot sooner. So I was really happy to have them with pumps that, like I said, I need to just drop what I'm doing and go. So these are very helpful to have to just kind of help clean up when you are in a pinch. But normally, obviously, at the end of the day, you should want to wash all your parts as well. Okay, let me tell you what's on the 2nd and the 3rd layers of my pumping cart that I keep for my exclusively pumping supplies. So on the 2nd layer, I have over here what I would call nipple care. So in this little bin here, this is from Target. It's one of their little organizers. I have those Medela Tender Care Hydrogels. I have just plain old Vaseline. And then I also have some Earth Mama Organic Nipple Butter, a different option based on my particular needs at the time. So You know, regular Vaseline works pretty well. The nipple balm definitely works. And then for the times when my nipples are on fire, you have the Medela Tender Care Hydrogels. So I have all of my nipple care stuff in my second tier in this little organizer here. Next to it, I have spare Medela Quick Clean Wipes. I have quite a few of those. So these are just my packs, same thing in that Target organizer. These are just my packs of quick clean wipes that I keep in here once I'm out on the top. Something else that's really important to have as far as when you are exclusively pumping is having extra supplies. A lot of these supplies are designed to be used for a little bit and then discarded and using new ones. So I actually have this little cup here, and it has all of the extra membranes. Those are these little plastic parts that go with the Medela parts. So I have several packages of the membranes, several of the little plastic pieces. These are all things you're supposed to replace pretty frequently when you are pumping. I want to say it's once a month, if not sooner than that. But I have a whole cup of them so that way I'm not using old pump parts. I also have on the shelf spare tubing. So I have spare tubing here for not only the Medela pump itself, but also for my freebies. The next section of my pump cart, I hope I don't have to use, but I know I'm gonna have to use it. And it's my clog busting section of my pump. So I have here, I literally have those hot hand warmers. And it's gonna sound really strange, but when you have a clog, if you apply heat to your breast before you pump, it can help get that clog out. So I actually have these hot hands. Don't put them directly on your boob, learn from me. I put it directly on my boob and I wound up with a burn on my boob, so don't do that. Put some thin layer between you and the hot hands. I also have the piece for my hand pump. If you did not know this, hand pumps are also really good with getting out clogs, because clogs, they're just very stubborn, and being able to add a little bit extra pressure with a hand pump is very helpful. This is the Medela one. They fit all my Medela pump parts up at the top of my cart. So I keep this in here for any time I have a clog. The last and possible MVP item of my pumping cart as far as clogs go is actually these beauties right here. These are the La Vie lactation massagers. I use these with my first child and they work so well. So these guys, I've shown a demo for them in another pumping video that I did, so I'll put the link up here if you want to see what exactly they do. But basically, they vibrate and they warm up so that you put them on your breast while you're pumping, and it helps break up the clog that you have. These are awesome. I love them. A lot of people love them, so I do recommend these if you are prone to clogs or if you're planning on exclusively pumping. The last thing in the middle row of my pumping cart is all of these different nipple pads. So I just have these here after I'm done pumping to put in my bra to keep my bra from getting wet. Okay, let's talk about the bottom layer of my pumping cart here. My pumping cart on the bottom layer, I know it's a little bit hard to see, so I'm gonna try to show you things as best I can. Over here on this side right here, you actually have a whole bunch of body armors. Anybody who exclusively pumps will tell you that the coconut water is a great hydrating tool, and you definitely need to be hydrating whether you are breastfeeding or pumping. I also keep some chewy bars. So I have this little cup here that's full of chewy bars. Again, these are the Target organizers. I have some crackers in here as well, so any snacks while I'm pumping, that's down here at the bottom. I'll usually grab them before I start pumping and have them up at the top, but I didn't think I needed this in the very top. The stuff that's in the top is stuff that I know I'm gonna grab first. I also have, and this is something new that I discovered when I was looking for snacks for my daughter, these, well, they're not Amazon brand, you can order them on Amazon. They're called Crunchies, and they're freeze-dried mango, and they're really good. The only ingredient is mango. I like these a lot, and it's kind of like less guilty snacking. So I keep these in my pump cart as well for snacking on stuff. Other things in the bottom of my pumping cart that I have are the Medela bottles. If I need the bottles, I have them down here. I don't use them very often because I use all the other pumping parts that I showed you in the top, but I do have them down here if I decide I don't have time to fuss with the kind bags, or I don't have time to refill kind bags, or all of my freebie cups are dirty, so I'm just gonna use these bottles. Okay, here's the back side of my cart. You can see I have more of the kind bag. I am going to be using these a lot with this child because I know I'm just not gonna have as much time as I did with only having one baby, now that I'll have two under two. And I also have spare nipple pads down here as well. So all of those spare nipple pads, I showed you those that I use very frequently. You should change them frequently too to make sure you don't wind up with something like thrush. The last thing that's in the bottom of my pumping cart is actually breast milk storage bags. So I don't have a ton of them over here because I keep most of them in the kitchen because we do brick freezing when we're doing breast milk storage, but I do keep a couple of them here. These are the Nano Babies and the Lancenos, and I keep a couple of them here because, again, let's say I'm pumping and I just don't have time to transfer the milk from the freebie cups into anything else. These are here for me in a pinch to to pour into and then stick in the fridge. So that is a tour of my pumping cart. I hope that was helpful for you, and I hope that you got some ideas of what you could keep in your own pumping cart. If there's something you think I forgot, please let me know. I think I'm prepared, but you know, you always forget things when you are preparing in advance for something. I know I probably will wish I had put something in here before I get home from the hospital that I just didn't think of. So let me know if you have something else that you feel like is a must-have in a pumping cart. Okay, I showed you what's in my pumping cart. Let me show you what is in my Willow Pump Bag. This is gonna be quick and dirty because the Willow is designed to be something that you can basically use quickly and put away on the go. Let me show you what all is in here. This is a Go-Go So brand. I think it was about 30 bucks on Amazon, so you can get it on Amazon for around that. I'll put the price right over here. So this is the pumping bag that I use. It has a compartment in the bottom that allows you to put ice in the bottom, which is really, really nice. But let me show you what's in the top of it. So this is what the inside of my bag looks like. I have both of my chargers in here. I have the 2 hubs on either side of my pumping bag, and then I have the flanges and the containers in here as well. So depending on my mood or what it is I'm gonna be doing, I have both the flanges and the containers that I keep in here to make sure that I have what I need as far as whether or not I'm gonna be pumping into bags or into the containers to pour into something else. Something else that I keep in the top here are nipple pads, because you're gonna need those when you're pumping. I also keep the breast milk storage bags because if I am pumping into the containers, I like putting the milk in the Lancino bags and then putting them flat on the bottom of the bag with a pack of ice. So the last thing I put in the top of my bag are the Medela Quick Clean Wipe packs. These are the individually packaged ones. I keep these only for work. I have the larger packs that I keep at home, but I use these all the time for work because it's easy for me to wipe down whatever it is that I'm using. Stick it in a wet bag, which is at the bottom of all of this stuff. I have a Bumpkins wet bag that's down there that I put my pump parts in, and then go about my business. So as far as the bottom of this bag goes, where the ice goes, I actually keep my bags in there as well. So my Willow proprietary bags, if you're wanting to pump directly into bags, you're gonna need them. I keep them right here. And so it's easy for me to just stick a thing of ice on top. It doesn't really get that crowded. You have enough room down here in this little pocket to put some ice and your bags and still have those spare bags on the bottom. It doesn't cause any harm so far that I've seen. Now this is my bag for my Willow. If I were bringing one of my larger pumps on a trip somewhere, my pump bag would look quite a bit different. This is just for my Willow for my day-to-day 7 to 3 job, so that, remember I'm a teacher, so I have 7 to 3 are my hours. So I just wanted something that was quick and easy for me to do because I don't have a lot of time to pump at work and I need to make sure that whatever I do is efficient. So I have all my Willow stuff that's in here and I showed you the different ways that I store that. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. I post all sorts of new content about childhood development, babies, children, and everything in between, and I would love to have you along for the ride. I appreciate you watching and I'll see you next time. Take care.